this is an introduction to finding function rules. So far, you've been given equations. So let's just start with the function notation of f of x is equal to 2x. Now, you've seen it so far probably in the format of y is equal to 2x. It's the same thing when we're charting. We're going to do an x and y, but we're talking about now functions. So you're going to see me use them one or the other and interchange between the two. So we know when we write these out, you always do an XY chart to solve. And I always like to use the numbers -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And the easiest way to do this, and simply without making mistakes, is just to make your XY chart larger. So this is going to be your X. Your equation goes here, and your Y value goes there. And this will get you all set up. So we have, for X, let's start with our -2. So we're going to put in -2 and write our equation. I'm now going to switch it from the function of x to our y is equal to 2 times -2. Now remember, whenever you substitute numbers in, you always put them in parentheses. Otherwise, it might look like 2 minus 2 and get you confused. But if you put them in parentheses, it will remind you that you're multiplying, and it won't be an issue with positive and negative numbers. So this gives you -4. So if x is -2, y is -4. Let's do the same thing with -1. 2 times -1 is equal to -2. If we put 0 in there, y is equal to 2 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0, so that's going to give us 0, 0. This becomes really important, not just that it passes through the origin, but we'll see that in a minute. So y is x is equal to 1, y is going to be equal to 2, and if x is equal to 2, y is going to be equal to 4. So now we're going to go over the importance of this 0, 0 point. When your x is 0 and your y value is 0, when they pass through the origin, at this point, mind you, this is just an introduction, you are not going to have no positives or negatives in the equation. Okay? So that's important. The other thing that you can look at, and it's a way of double checking, do it the long way, but then check and see the difference in the values as we go. And we look at it and we see that it's in multiples of 2, which leads us to our 2x. So that's a real nice way of checking that. So now let's go on and let's try something that has an addition or subtraction in it. This is in the worksheet also, but I did not work it out. So let's take the f of x. It's going to be 2x plus 3. Once again, we're going to be making our big chart here. It's a couple step equation, so I'll make it real big. Up here goes our equation. F of x is equal to 2x plus 3. I'm going to use my same numbers, my -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 for my x values. So I'll start with -2. Once again, I'm switching to y. So 2 times -2 plus 3. 2 times -2, that's -4 plus 3. And that is going to give us -1. So now if I plug in -1 for x, y is equal to 2 times -1 plus 3. That's going to give us a negative 2 plus 3, which is a positive 1. At 0, y is equal to 2 times 0, which we know is 0. So it's going to be 3. Now remember what I told you to look at when you're at this, when x is 0, y is 3, and that coincides with that positive 3 up there. Let's go back to finish filling this out. So x is 1, 2 times 1 plus 3. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3. That's going to give us a 5. And if x is 2, y is equal to 2 times 2 plus 3, which is 4, plus 3, which is 7. Once again, plug these numbers in over here. And once again, we can see that our numbers are going up by units of 2. Now we're going to switch it up, and I am going to give you the XY chart, and we're going to go through and figure out what the equation is. So I've got negative 7, negative 5, negative 3, negative 1, and 1. So our equation of f of x, and looking once again at this negative 3, I know I'm going to probably have something that looks like something x, but we know it's going to be a minus 3. So I found the easiest way to do this is to rewrite it and make another text box, or XY box, but what you're going to do first is you're going to add 3 to each one of your y values. So then my second XY chart over here, so I'm going to take my y values and take y values, and I'm going to add 3. So for my first, so let's write our y values. I've got negative 7, negative 5, negative 3, negative 1, and 1. So if our x values are going to stay the same at negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So if I take 7, negative 7 plus 3, that is going to give me negative 4. So if I take my negative 5 plus 3, that's going to give me a negative 2. If I take my negative 3 plus 3, that's going to give me a 0. Once again, important to look at this. They're both 0. So now going back, I've got negative 1 plus 3. That's going to be 2. And I've got 1 plus 3 is going to give me 4. Now this is not a correct chart. This is a working chart. It's not our final answer. This is our original. This is the one we work with. But what this gives us is we've taken out this 3 from the equation. Now we're going to be able to figure out what goes in front of the x. So I can look at it, and I can, once again, remember I talked about looking at at how it went, and I've got multiples of 2, don't I? So it becomes 2x minus 3. So that's how you do it when you're given a chart. Take out whatever you're adding or subtracting, make a working chart to find your equation. Hope this helps.